Hi Ravi, can you hear me?
Hey, hi, Shekhar. Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes for other participants to join, and then we'll
Sure,
start.
sure.
Good morning, Soham. Good morning, Sadvik.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sadvik. Where are you based?
Uh, Actually, I'm from Nagpur.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is your current profession?
Yes, sorry.
What is your current profession?
Yeah, I'm working as a business analyst.
Okay. And what will be your purpose of joining this session?
I want to enhance my skills in uh,
Okay, great. What about you, Ravi? You are from which location?
Sorry, Shekhar, you were saying something?
Yeah, you are based out of which location?
I'm good.
Gurgaon.
Good now. Yeah.
And your current profession?
Assistant manager,
Okay. So you're working in which company?
Mexicans.
Ah, okay. Okay. Great. Great. What will be the key expectation from this session?
I need to enhance my skill. That's it. So, need to understand what also will be, it would be helpful in my on my designation also.
Okay. Yeah. So this is going to be very critical. Uh, I think uh, it it is going to be very helpful in terms of your career progression. Specifically the kind of uh, business or profession you are in. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just start and then let's work on that. Okay. Okay. So let me just quickly check. You guys are able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So let's quickly look at the agenda for today's session, what we're going to be learning today. So first we'll give you a brief introduction about the app sheet. Uh, then we will move on to the three different ways how you can create an application using the app sheet. One of them is obviously how to use AI to get started with the app. But yeah, I'll take you through the interface of the portal. and how you can start working with an app. Yes, and then I will show you the real world use cases specifically into your profession. And obviously, we'll not be able to cover everything. There will be certain areas which will be beyond our scope for this particular session, but we'll try to address those areas. There are going to be following up sessions. Approximately, we are talking about another 3 to 4 session even after today, where you will be able to fully create your applications. Yeah. So without further ado, let's get started with our first introduction. So first thing, what is about AppSheet? So AppSheet is a no-code developer platform which is specifically designed by Google. Okay. So you guys have worked with any of the no-code application ever before?
Not yet.
Yes, actually, I have worked on the Power Apps. So it's a
Yep.
local platform. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you already know Power App, this is going to be a much more easier than that. So even for creating Power App, you would need a certain technical skill. Uh, the system is a bit more complex, but in AppSheet, it's much more simpler to use. Okay, you can create powerful business application within your cloud server. You can create for mobile application as well without even writing a code. And when I say no code platform, yes, you don't need any coding experience or any coding language prior to this. There are certain skills which you require in terms of having a tech savvy skill or identifying how to do it. I'm sure all of you guys already know how to do that. Uh, Specifically with your current profession, you already know. I mean, even a basic Excel function, if you know how to use it, you should be able to formulate. And of course, during this session, I'll be taking you through how you can write those expressions and how you can modify that application. So, yeah, this is a great tool if you want to start building an application with a no-code platform. Second thing is a data-driven development. Now, since the product is from Google side, obviously it gets connected with all the Google applications such as Google Sheet, Excel, BigQuery, and any other sources. But alongside that, it can help you to get connected with different application models or generative AI models as well, which gives you an edge to create much more complex, application for your businesses. Okay. So next, if I see for what are the other features? So custom workflow. So this is one of the core or heart of the AppSheet that it gets. So initially, when AppSheet was developed, it was not under Google umbrella. It was a separate entity altogether. In 2013, they launched a group of people. So their core business model was to create different, workflow, such as sending an automated email notification to your user based on any custom or any triggers. You can generate PDF, you can send out email notification, even it lets you make a call to a certain customer. But unfortunately, that calling service is only available in US, so it doesn't go outside US. Later, this AppSheet company was acquired by Google. It was in 2018, and that's from there on. It has gone through a lot of advancement and a lot of feature addition. Okay, so alongside, like I mentioned, you can integrate Google Gemini, any other application model or generative AI model to uh, advance or create an advanced use case. You can integrate those models. It can also help you to do predictive analysis as well. So obviously, in terms of predictive analysis, you need to use that application for quite a few times before it get to see all the data, and based on that, you can start creating that predictive models. One of the core feature or application is secure and scalable. So when we say about the secure and scalable, the entire product and the application is hosted with Google Cloud itself. So which means your organization data stays secure with the organization itself. Yeah. So that is why if you will see in current day situation, a lot of organizations are developing application through Microsoft Azure, AWS, or Google AppSheet because they want to keep their data inside their premise, and that's why Google AppSheet is not falling behind, but it's leading the way because it is already integrated within your Google Workspace itself. So the application gives you a robust security itself. Okay. Now, in terms of pricing and how it works, is AppSheet is absolutely free to use. You can start creating application with your basic Gmail account itself. That's all you would need to start with. And whatever application you will be creating, these can be used up to 10 users. So as long as you want to use within 10 people, you can develop and deploy that application for all those 10 users for free. Now, if your user base is more than 10, then you can go for licenses of AppSheet Core, which gives you more security, and it charges only $5 a month. But having said that, if your organization or if you already have an sorry, Google Workspace, this is included in any of the Google Workspace account or subscription. For example, even if you start with Google Starter Plan or Business Standard Plan or even Enterprise Plan, AppSheet Core is already included there, so that you don't need to pay additional charges. And that's why I like AppSheet model, because if your organization is already using Google Workspace, you go ahead and create an application that is not going to have any additional cost for your organization. At the same time, you will be able to solve business problems. So yeah, that is why it is preferred. And like I mentioned, you people are already working in certain domain, certain organization. You will be able to use create application to solve specific business issues, and uh, which obviously gives you an edge. So company doesn't cost incur any additional cost, and you go ahead and solve a business problem, which means it gives you an edge to advance your career within the organization itself. Now, outside apart from that, if you want to get started your journey as a freelancer, this service is in quite demand. I would not say huge demand, but in moderate demand, because the talent base is very less. Okay, there is not too much of people who knows how to build application using AppSheet. So yeah, talent, or you can say the resources are less. That's why you have an edge over there. Even you can run into a very less competitive market to get your AppSheet career going as a freelancer. If I talk about the known freelancer world, then you can easily work or earn around 1,000 to $2,000 a month if you are able to create viable products and pitch yourself, market yourself in the industry well. So if you position you correctly, you have the opportunity to earn additional as well apart from your career advancement. Okay, so this is a basic overview. If I have to quickly summarize, basically, AppSheet will let you create cloud-based application that transform the process, boost productivity. It's absolutely cost-effective solution, secure, user-friendly. Uh, it helps you to streamline or eliminate any inefficiency in your process. The best use cases is going to be with process automation, remote collaboration, and cost optimization. We'll see much more details. It will make more sense how you can employ those solutions. I would not know exactly what is your business challenges, but yes, I can obviously throw some light how you can address those using these application. Okay, so I'll quickly go on to get started with the application without any more theory or having shown you slides. But before we go there, do you guys have any questions on based on whatever you have learned so far? So you can ask any question, any clarity, and then we can proceed with real demo of how to get started with your AppSheet journey. Any
No, not yet, Shikhar. Since it's a new for me totally, so I'm also understanding the same.
great, no issue. So, Satvik, do you guys have any questions? About
Yeah,
this?
actually, I think is what is the difference? Can we say that the app sheet is a combination of Power Automate and Power Apps?
Yes, it is pretty much. So, what happens in if you talk about the similar product or same architecture, you have an AWS where it requires certain coding experience to develop the solution. If you talk about Power application or Power App, so what Power App doesn't give you, Power App lets you create an app, but then when you want to uh, automate that, you will need to add that additional module of Power Automate, right? Uh,
Yeah,
so these two things is combined within that app sheet itself. So whatever automation you want to do, you will be doing it within through the app itself without adding any additional component. Okay.
yeah, that's great.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you. So we'll move on to the real life demo now, and I hope you guys would be able to see how you can use this for your current workspace. Okay. So there are three ways of there are three ways of yeah, getting started or creating an app sheet application. Okay. The first, I will show you the most easiest way to do it. In fact, all of them are easy. But yes, the first thing is going to be around how do you create an application right out of Google Sheet. These are the most used cases. So I have already prepared one test application, okay, and I will show you. Okay, my screen. Okay, let me know if you are able to see my Google Sheet.
Yes, it's visible.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I mean thought of one test application. The reason I choose this particular project because I would also be showing you the further use cases and in future we were going to develop. There are three different applications that we will be creating. I mean the fully functioning application throughout our future sessions. So this is going to be one of them. So yeah, what we are trying to build here is an project management application. So if you are working as an individual freelancer or you are working within your organization, uh, you may have been working with some kind of a project. So how do you create an application that will manage all the projects where you will be able to track all the projects? You will be able to collaborate with other team members. So instead of sending over the email, getting an update from them and updating it, you can create that application where multiple users can see their task. They can update the status of their task, and you get a consolidated view instantly. Yes, you can send out customized notification to your user. Okay, for example, if you have a task that is overdue, you can send an automated email. So you don't need to do anything. You just need to have that trigger in place. So every time there is a course or a task is due, let's say within next 24 hours, you can send the gentle reminder. Once the task has overdue, you can send another email. So all of these can be automated by yourself. And all these emails are completely customized. So you can use that. Okay. So we'll show you how to get started with the application. Now, the most important thing is how do you structure your data. Okay, so I'll give you a very quick two to three things that you need to remind if you are starting your application or start creating your application through a Google Sheet. Okay. First and foremost thing, the main table of your application by which you want to get started, that starting view has to be always in the front. So if I want to create an application, I will always, if client table is my primary view that I want to show, or the primary task that we want to show, then it has to be always at the first tab. Okay? Then obviously, if you want the project to be on the first tab, you can always bring that front and you can start there. You'll see in a minute that how you can, once you start, how does this impacts. Obviously, you can later on go ahead and add those tables as well within the same source. But yes, your initial or primary view always has to be at the front or the first tab of your Google Sheet. That's one. Second, each of the table that you have should have a unique ID to start with. Okay. This is going to be very important because you know how the data structure works. So if you work even a Excel data, you will know how to VLOOKUP them. So if you want to VLOOKUP or bring any other resources in it, you need a unique key. Okay. If you have worked with database, you already know about a foreign key or a database key itself. So, Sadhvi, you have already worked as a business analyst, you know. So all the tables should have a primary key or a unique column that can be correlated or linked with the other table. Okay, so this is basically going to be the address. So that's second point. And the third thing is the best practices that when you get started with your app and you have already defined what are the columns that you want to have, once you structure them, any additional columns that you have, you should go ahead and delete them. Okay. Uh, it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory. You can skip that particular step, but it is a best practice so that your app works smoothly. Okay. It should not be any blank column within it. So if there is a blank column, obviously it's not going to take the further column. So it stops there. But as a best practice, you should always remove any additional columns that you have and you don't need. So these blank columns should be deleted. This is just a demo that I will quickly show you. So I have not added all the table structure, but yes, once you see the exact project and once you during our course when we will see all the fields, you will see that much more field and more tables we are going to add. Okay, so let's say this is our initial stage and this is how you want to get started with. So the first thing you can do once your data is set, you'll go to this option called extension. Any Google Sheet would already have this extension inbuilt. Okay, both of these product is Google's product, so these are by default extension. So if you go to AppSheet and you have an option is a create an app. So once you click that, AppSheet automatically starts to build the foundation of your application. It will take a bit while and then it get that application going. Okay, so now you see that you already have uh, got a initial view of the application, so it has started to create. You can see that client table. We started with the client table, so it already has a client table in it. Okay? And this is the foundation of your application, and you can go ahead and customize that application. So if you're initially this is your first time, it will land you to this page. It will every time you create an app, it will show you how the app works. All these learning are exciting and very impressive. This is how I started. So starting an app and then learning from each and one of those videos and tutorials. Okay. If you see this application, so we have created the client table and this is already been created. And if I click on this plus, this is what it already has done for us. So all the fields that we have mentioned, it's there. Okay, so I'll show you. You can view it in the tablet mode. You can view it in the desktop mode as well. But yeah, we'll go on there later. But that's the your basic uh, platform overview. This is how you see your application interface to start with. You have this cross icon to see how it is working at the background, how the design looks. Then there are multiple tabs to explore. All of these are important, but you will not be able to cover all those aspects due to the timing. So yeah, we'll show all of these important aspects in the later session. So if I talk about the first thing is data. So that's where you will be able to see all the tables which are added to your application. Now we started with the client table. It has already got the client table. Okay. Now we'll quickly add the other table. So since our Google Sheet already has two other table, it asks or AppSheet automatically prompts whether you want to add those or not. You can click them and all of these tables is going to be added. Okay. Okay. So task, you see an error because if you remember our Google Sheet, we don't have any column in the task table. Okay. So let's delete that table for the time. Okay. So we have the client table added and the project table added. So this is your data table. Second option is UX. UX is exactly where from you control your application view. Okay, so that's where you will be able to map in different views. Say for example, it has already created a primary view, one for client and one for the client table and one for the map. Okay, we don't need that view, so I'll delete that view. Okay, but we can add another view that is for our project table. So you can click on another view, new view, that is for the project, and it asks which data or which table you want to show. Then it's going to be the project table. Okay, so now you see on the right hand side, one table for client, one table for project has been created. Okay, save this. Okay, so I'll go back to the data section again. So how do you now customize? So how basically at the back end AppSheet would work? How that each and every field you can customize? How you want to view those application or view add those formula and expressions? Okay, this is where you will do see it. So view column. So when we started, the application has already created certain fields. So if you remember, when we click on client or add a client, there is a client ID which is already been generated. Okay, there is a date which has already been added as a today's date. How this is happening is because of these formula or the initial value that you have. So if you open any of the uh, field, you will see there are different options how you want to customize that. So your client ID, yes, it's a text field. You go to auto compute. This is where you can create a formula or expression. So we'll go through in much more details in coming session how to do or create the expression. Initial value, so it has already created an expression for us. Okay, that's what the app sheet has done when we put that option, click that option that create an app. So this is an user ID, unique ID field that it has already created. So similarly, if you go to date added, you will be able to see the type of the column is date, and then under auto compute, it says initial value is date. Yeah. So obviously, you can go ahead, user can go ahead and change those as per their required. If we want this table to be as a change the type as a date and time, we can also do that. In that case, it will show you the date and time to choose. Okay. And so since we are moving on to date and time, so under auto compute, instead of today, we will mention the expression. So the existing expression, I'm deleting that, and I can choose any of the time format that I have as an expression. So if I check, let's say time now, so Now the app, would show you the date and the time of what we're doing. Okay, it doesn't show the right time. I don't know why, but yes. Uh, let's see again. Okay, date and time. Time now. Yeah, it should give us the time correctly, if I'm not wrong. Okay, it can be now. We may change it in client date. Okay, so it shows today's date and then what is the time. Okay, so this is how the app sheet or the expression would work to create a formula for any of the specific fields. Okay, any question on this?
No, Shikhar. So this can be done through Excel as well, right? Or only be through Google Sheet.
Yeah, so currently it supports Google Sheet. Okay, if you want to add it through Excel, there is a different extension that you would need to install or get it connected. But it is allowed.
Oh,
It's allowed now. Okay.
okay.
So for the project table, again, these are the information, the table. We will not go through the expression as of now, but we'll do later. I'll quickly show you how get to the US section. So if I go to UX, now I already have both the primary view, but I want to show in a different way. So for example, for a client, I want to show a card view. Since there is no data, we will not be able to see. But let's say project. Okay. So project I want to show in terms of let's say a form. So once I see that, that's the form view it shows. If you want to change it to an onboarding, yeah, once we have the data, we will be able to see. Okay. So I'll show you a demo of a real app when you will be able to see. So obviously you can change these views from the UX tab. Behavior tab is what are the specific actions that each and every field would have. Okay. So, or each and every table would have. So if you go to your data, you see the initial, action which is available is update, add, delete. You can obviously change it. Let's say you want to do it only read only, or let's say you want to do everything, but you want to have an uh, user role defined. Okay, so this user can do all the changes. This user can do update only, and rest will be in read only. So you can use a restricted view to have user based view itself. Okay, so and this is a basic example, and you can obviously customize with multiple other options like security and then slicer. So slices would let you create a different view of the core table itself. Okay, so that you can do. That is about behavior. Automation. This is where the automation starts. So if your application have, uh, there are a bot that you can create. So what this bot will do, you can give a name. Okay, client record is updated. Send an email. There are suggestions. So let's choose this. So what I'm saying is, as soon as someone updates a client, we can send a welcoming email or onboarding email to our clients. Okay, and we can send an email to them. We can create a customized email form. What is going to be the subject line? What is going to be contained in the body? What is the preview of the email? Okay, whether we want to have an attachment or not. And these are different actions that we can call upon. Okay, so if you see, once we start creating, this is our bot event or the bot condition that sent an email. If I go to the process, sorry, the bot condition is this. A client record is created, then update this application. We can choose a different option or different trigger point. We can create a custom instruction as well or custom formula as well that when this action should be triggered. Send an email. We can change this from send an email to send a notification. We can send an SMS. Okay, we can call a script. So if you know app script, you can create a different function altogether, which you can embed here. And this is where the programming skill comes in of knowing app script. Okay, you can create a PDF generation instantly. You can now create a webhook, which is the external action. Okay, which is not supported here, but you can call up that function. So every time is there, like you want to add Zapier, you want to add a make, you want to call up Slack. So that's an HTTP webhook that you can do, a custom application or custom API, AppSheet API or Slack hook that you can add. Okay. So this is about the process. Then within that process, what is going to be a task? What is going to be an event? You can define all of these and to make your fully functional and automation. Okay. Next interface, if I talk about the chat application. So once your app is deployed, let's say you want to have like this particular application where you will be having 10 to 15 user contributing to your project. Okay, so within that application you can create in chat environment where they can simply use the chat functionality to communicate with each other uh, about a specific process or project or type. Okay, that is within the application, so you don't need to go any or create a different application. It is embedded within that security function. Okay, so this is where I was saying that it gives you a robust platform. So required signing and the authentication provider is Google. Now, when you're using AppSheet core, then by default it will give you that your app would be accessible within your organization. That is the base security it provides until and unless you change it to global. Okay. Allowed user signing. Yes, user can sign in. Already people who are logged in with this in the browser with your Google account, they can already sign in. I can change that option to that. Okay. Then whether we want to make it public, all these options are there. How do you manage your user? What is the level of access that you want to give to your user? Whether you want to make them admin, you want to make them owner, whatever you can do through this section. And finally, the intelligence. So, like I mentioned, once your app has significant data being used, you can create a predictive model that will help you to further advance this application. Okay, these are different options. Now once you have created that application, you can go ahead and do a deployment check and deploy this application. Now we'll not be able to deploy at this moment. If I go ahead and run a deployment check, it will give us a lot of area that are uncovered yet or not been working. So it will check that entire structure, and then it will show us what are the area that we will need to address before we do the deployment. Okay. It's going to take time, but yeah, we will leave that for now. Okay. You see, this is run the deployment check. Okay. So what are the things is missing? It says app definition error, app definition is not there, app description is not being mentioned, user interface. So we have not done anything. So that's why it would say all of these. You continue to update that app, and then you will be able to deploy. Okay. So in nutshell, this is how your AppSheet application would look like. Or if you want to start with your Google Sheet, this is how you can get started. I'm mentioning again that uh, the showing that entire application process with the Google Sheet is not something that we can accommodate within this particular session, but I'm giving you an overview of it. Okay. But once we start building in the further session, we'll show you how to do this. Okay. You can always refer how to build a no-code app. These video tutorials are extremely helpful. There is an option to get started with Gemini. We will show that option anytime, anyhow. So, okay, so now that we are within, we know how to get started with an Google Sheet. The second option is by exploring the existing app within that app sheet itself. So if I go ahead and click on this, this is going to take us to our application homepage. Okay. And within this home page, you will see what are the applications that you have already created with this account is will show up here, owned by me, or these are the application which was created by the other account, but it was shared with me. I'll be able to see it there. Owned by me, obviously, what are all the app that I have created within this account. Okay. Then you have an option of templates. So if you open that, there are quite a few templates or application, and this library, gets uh, updated every week or every month. These are some of the applications which are created by AppSheet user, some of the applications which are created by AppSheet core team itself to showcase how you can use that application. Okay, so you can take this, or let's say preview this. This is a simple survey application. Okay, so it says this is a survey application. Okay, uh, you can use that particular application to test, and then once you are ready, you can go ahead and you know make a copy of that as well. So simple inventory option, onboarding and training. This is again is very important. So if I want to say go ahead and copy this, so it will create an existing application and copy of the app. Now it's would show in your system, and it gives you all this information. Okay, so now you can go ahead and see what are all table which is there in this application, what are all views it has. Okay, how you can do the changes, what are all automation which is already, or behave actions which are there, automation, what are all automation which is already there. Okay, these are pre-created. This helps you to learn as well that how you want to do that. Okay, so you can create, it is still in the progress of creating that complete application. You can see 19% is working, but this is how you can quickly get started with a fully functioning app if it is already within your the library. Okay, you can get started with any application, and then obviously customize and modify it based on your need. So that's number two way, or second option, how to get started or start creating an application. So if you know the specific use cases, there is a template that you can use right from there. So it's add and manage. Okay, new columns. So you see all the expression are created itself. So you can always refer to that to build a customized one itself. Okay. Any question till now?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So I'm not sure whether it's been completely done or not. Okay, it gives you the user sign up option. Employee ID will be automatically created. The user would enter for name, phone, their email address is created. What is going to be the role? Obviously, this should not be. If I'm using this out for creating, I will not let them use that. This is something has to be done by the admin team. Okay, profile picture. Yes, they can go ahead and apply that. So this will create a user list. Okay, I'll not go any further deep into this. I'll quickly show you the third way. Okay, so now I'm coming back to the home again, and here I have an option to create an app. So it says create an app directly from here. You can start creating a blank app right from the scratch, and then you can add. I don't suggest that way. Okay, you can obviously start with the template. You can start with an existing data that we see that in the Google Sheet. You can also have a database or BigQuery database that you can start with creating an application. Now we'll see how would we get started with Gemini app. Okay. So if I click on that Gemini option, so Gemini gives us an option to help us, fast track that process. So if you remember, so when we have that created, now if I have to create that fully functional app, I will have to add all those expression. I will have to use table structure. I'll need to add certain data to show how it looks and feel. Okay, uh, I like this table. So this is a huge application, and all these table, creating all of these table is going to consume your time. So how Gemini helps us. We can use our natural language processing. I can tell him or tell Gemini that this is the app that I want to use or I want to create, and Gemini will help us create that app. Please be noted that it is not going to help you to create that entire application, but it definitely reduces your overall app creation time by 40%. So with my experience, I can tell you that if you want to create a completely fully functioning app, if it requires 10 hours, your first 3 to 4 hours is going to be building that database or building that structure and then creating all those formulas, which is the expressions. But that's where the Gemini would come into picture and help you get started in 5 to 10 minutes itself. Okay. So I have a description that I am going to use for this. This is a description that I have. I'm going to put that here. So what I'm telling the Gemini, create an app with below mentioned core features. Then I'm going to paste that entire thing. So I'll show you what I'm mentioning. I don't know whether it gives me. So this is what I have mentioned in terms of I want to create a project management pro application, which the use case that I'm trying to we initially wanted to do. Okay, and then what it should have is these are the core functionality. I should have a client table where I can add and manage the clients. I want to have the project management or the project table where I want to add, view, manage multiple clients and projects. Okay. Then I want to have a task manager. I want to have a sub-task manager. I want to have a chat functionality or collaborating messages, user assignment, that how do I go ahead and assign user for each one of those tasks or the projects. Okay. So I have automated workflow and power automate. This is not required for power automate. Yeah. So all these is what my app description. You can mention, complete app in much more details. In further sessions, I will also show you how to create that description that Gemini understand better, or how to customize this particular instruction through any other tools. But yes, that's our basic. But one thing it has to be remembered that these instruction should be within 3,000 character itself. It cannot be more than 3,000 character. That's not what Gemini would be able to process. Okay. So once I'm happy with the description, I will click on create an app structure. It will quickly go ahead and start creating its structure for me. So first, what it has done, it has created all the table that it thinks is required for us. So we have a client table, we have a task subtask table, we have the project table. Okay, we have a messages table where we can communicate with each other. We have a user table for all of our team members. It has also created a project file. So sometimes we want to upload any project file. Now, if I want to add further table, if I see that all the tables are not there, I can go ahead and create an add table. But for the time being, we're not going to do that. Okay. If you are not happy with the instruction and the structure, so probably you want to change the description, then you can click on start over. It will start again. Okay. And now we will click on create add. Okay, it is going to take a few moments. Incorporating machine learning, manage user role-based security, authentication, sheet spaces. Okay. It says that it creates the workflows, but it does not create the workflow, to be honest, because uh, we don't know. Gemini don't know what is the trigger point, what is the trigger that we want to use, what is the exact automation that I want to do. So it will not be able to create, but this is how it shows. Okay. So now we can go ahead and create a customization. Where did it go? Okay, project flow. So we are on here. Okay. So now see, within few minutes, it has already created a application for us. Let me just change the view. So under info. Okay, let me use that thing for us. You see, I click on save. Okay, I'll quickly show you in the desktop mode so that's easier for you guys to see. So it has already created these. So some dummy data it has already created for the project table. Uh, if I click this, it will say, okay, project table, we have the client table. It has created certain clients data randomly. So this is very helpful once, let's say somebody wants to say that, show me what is the app that it can create. I need this kind of an application. You can put that description here. And within few minutes, it will give you the initial structure, which reduces your 40% time. And then you can obviously modify these information. So you don't need to go through creating a dummy data or anything as such. So this is the field or automatically dummy data being created by them. These are not real data. It's created by Gemini itself. Okay. You can create an ad. So this is how your form would look like. You can add a project. You want to edit that project. And if you see that this project has a related project file, okay, this is a file which has been updated. These are the related messages. These are the related tasks for this particular application. So if I want to edit any particular application, okay, this is the client which is related for that project description, start date, end date, what is the current status. See, it has already created all these options for me. How to choose the priority. And okay, so I'm not going to do that. So does that excites you guys? So do you think that it's super easy to get started with an app using the Gemini? Or let me ask you. So which option you would prefer? You would want to go through with a Google Sheet? You want to go through with a template, or create directly through Gemini? These are the three different way you can get started. Okay.
I think Gemini will, reduce our workload a little bit.
Absolutely, it does. It reduces, and I'm telling you right from, I'm not throwing that up or hyping it up. When I create multiple application, so when I get a request from the client and say that I want to create an app about these feature, uh, I simply go ahead and create that structure. So I have a tool defined for that. I have created a custom GPT for myself where I put the customer's information or customer basic requirement. It goes through the market standard. What could be more additional features? It creates that description. Then I put it in the Gemini. My 40% work gets done. I change the cosmetics. I change the data structure, look and feel of it, which takes another 2 to 3 hours for me. And within that time period, I can go ahead and create a dummy version or a prototype for my for me to show that client, okay, look, this is what I can create based on your requirement. This is a dummy view. Obviously, if you want to honor the project to me, I can go ahead and fully function and upgrade all the features. Okay. So for me, this is a very super cool option. Uh, yeah. So these are three different ways to get started with your AppSheet journey or get starting with your application. Okay. So if you have any question, you can ask. If you don't have any question, then I can move on to you show some of the application which are very useful. You already got a hint that you can check from the library itself. This is a training and onboarding application. Okay, what is says app usage? It will show us the it has not been created yet. So something wrong. But obviously, project management, this application is quite good. So if you see the views, you can change an application logo, you can change a background image, how you style those information. And if you go to info, at a description, you will see the app property and description. So whatever we have mentioned in the initial instruction, this is what comes as an app description itself. So yes, this is quite extensive. Uh, but as an overview, I would say I have created application both in AWS or Power App, but AppSheet is much more easier for me to get started. Okay. Any questions? Did I go too fast? You want me to show things? Any of the section back? You can let me know. Cool. Okay. So if you don't have any further question, I'll show you. Okay, you guys tell me, Ravi, what kind of day-to-day task that you do normally, or what is going to be helpful? So let me show you use cases. So this is one application. Let me show. Uh, So if I go to this, okay, I click on this, it's going to take me to my apps. Okay, so these are different apps. I'll show you. Okay, so it has opened automatically. So this is how once you create your application, once you define different designs, automation, uh, this is how it would look. I'll show you the desktop version. This is in the mobile version as mobile version, but I'll show you in the desktop version. So this is what my home uh, looks like. So if you see, there is two options that you see. Okay? One is the home tab, and second one is the all code tab. This is an application which I created for one of the client, is on code generation. So this is a business application where your sales team can come and create a code based on the customer's requirement. Okay. So as a user, once they log in, they can see all of these options. This additional view that you see is because I'm an admin here. Okay. But let's say I don't want to show it to the user. Okay. So if a user is, let's say, a test user, let me use a test account. So watch this. So this particular option or this view would not be available once I change that user. So I'm now viewing it. So it gives me this option only. Okay. Similarly, in the mobile view itself, if I change this and use a user view, so you see only they will be able to see the home. So this user uh, is a sales guy. Okay. So if you open account, this is an AppSheet test user that I have created. Role is a test user. Okay. And once I'm inside that account, I can check what is my account, what are all sales code that I have created or this test user has created. Track my code. Okay, or track my codes. These are the codes which has been created, and these are the different stages. So I have under propose stage, which is the customer which has been using a free trial, which are the code which has been sold. This is my conversion. this got churned, or this customer is no longer with us. Okay.
So
Reports.
is this data extracted from the dialer or what?
Oh, I didn't get your query.
Since I'm also in sales, right?
Hmm.
So we
Yeah.
used to extract the data from dialer, which we use like Genesis and all. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm asking. Have you take those inputs from dialer or what?
No. So the input is not directly coming from the dialer. Okay. So
Okay.
this is an application for them to manually do that. But obviously, if you want to get that data from dialer, we can do that. Okay. So your dialer has an API key which we can include. Okay. Which means our data table that we have for this particular application, it will automatically feed in those data. Okay. Uh, but this is primarily for the sales quotation team, which, as a sales agent, you talk to your customer over the phone or see their email, that what is the what is that they want to purchase. Based on that, it will create. That is what the feature of this particular application. So we have
Okay.
three section. Let's cancel this. Okay. Create a new quote. I'll go in. Let's say create a sales quote. So I have the form view, which is the company name, customer name, address. Then the second section is the requirement, and finally the code generation. Okay. So if I go ahead and select these options, okay, let's say they want to have three different type. One is software. Yes, they want to purchase software, or let's say this is a hardware or a service. So service they want to use, which is a Google platform. So we select this. Based on that, you can see these options are getting changed. Okay. So tier type, whether it's an individual agency or individual account, or they want to build an agency with multiple, or this is an enterprise type. So let's select agency. How the pricing model should be working, annual or monthly or one time. Yes. So let's say we want to have a monthly subscription, which is going to be obviously one option is pay per user. Annually, I have the same option. Okay. So what is the number of user? I go ahead and add, okay, this is 6 number of user. Then it creates an ID. It says platform. It's just summarization. Okay. So once I do that, and if I go to the quotation section, this is what my sales cost is going to be. This is based on the predefined pricing model that we have already done for that product. I want to add a operational or promotional discount. Let's say I'm giving this guy is a 7% discount. This becomes my total cost. Okay. Then I select this. Okay, let me use that customer information itself. So I'm going to use my account. This is quality qualitance, and then customer name is myself. Address. Let me use not this account, but I will use this. Yeah. Okay. Let me use this. Okay. Then the requisition and quotation, and I click on save. So this using this ID, I have created this code. Okay. Now, if I go to my Gmail address, since I'm the customer, I get this automated email. This is just now been created. This is the preview. Team Qualitance has sent me this email. Dear Shekhar, thank you for showing interest in our product. Please find the below proposal. So it says that what is the product that I am referring to, and what is going to be the total cost. What is the promotion discount which has been applied? Okay. Now it has already created a uh, PDF file for me with the description. Okay. And these PDF file and all of these emails are completely customized. So this is how we do within that. Let's say, so if I go to automation, I will see, okay, send, this is what the automation would look like. Quote generated. So anytime that there is a field being added, we send an email. What is the whom it gets sent to the customer email, whom I want to add as a CC. That option is there. What is the email content body? Okay. What is going to be the the attachment which will be created, and this is what is going to be the name. So everything that we can define here for this. So this is one quotation generation. Okay, then like I said, that reports. Yes, I can see that report. Reload this and see it as an admin now. Once I see that admin, okay, these are my team members. These are the people who are within my team. What is their skill set? What is their role? And what is their related, created. So if I choose this option, I'll say, okay, this is the user profile. This is the role of that particular user, and these much of the source sales that they have done. Good, cool. Does it sound interesting for you guys?
Yes, sure.
So, very good. So this is how you can design. Obviously, I showed you the earlier how to create, but it goes lot of designing part. Okay, so if you remember, once you see the earlier version which was created automatically, it doesn't have that look and feel. It doesn't have these options because these are not that simple. So I don't have any of the data table showing directly as a view. Okay, so from each one of the uh, data table, I have created several other view, and then we have created a view home tab where we have combined all those. So from reference, if you see all these view, these all are reference. First, we go ahead and create a reference view, and then we structure it in terms of a home page view. Okay. So all of these things would be coming up in our further sessions. How you can do that. I'll quickly show another example. Okay. Not sure whether that application is still working or not, but yeah, I'll try to show. This might be interesting for Ravi. Okay. So this is an application for a quality assurance team. Okay, the quality assurance team goes ahead and do that audit. So what it does is, obviously you can use an Excel form, you can use a Google form, but yes, this application is much more advanced. It helps you in different ways. Okay. So as a QA, once I log in, I can see all the details. I can obviously have a form, automated scoring. What is going to be the scoring for each and of those parameter? If I say 100%, it doesn't ask me any comment. But if I say there was a fail, it asks for an opening comment. So basically, transaction monitoring form it gets created. Now, what it does is once it's created, now and the data is being stored in Google Sheet, it gets processed for a further step of data visualization itself. You can obviously go through and view the report within here, but the advancement is that you can see the report in Looker Studio, which is again another free data visualization tool or BI tool for Google itself, which is free. Okay? Unlike Power BI, it is a web-based analytical view. Have you guys worked with Looker Studio before? Have you created
Yeah.
any Looker Studio?
Actually, I created some sample dashboard on that.
Let me see if I can show you that the demo data is. I'm not sure. I created that a long time back, so I'm not sure whether it's still accessible. But let me try to pull that up for you guys. So the advantage, Ravi, this gives is that in your basic CRM, if you are using a CRM tool with your organization to capture any check data or any transactional monitoring data, how would you do it? Generally, you would spend an the QA audits those data, submits those audit in Google form or in
Yes,
Excel.
ideally QA audits those things. Right? We use basically three tools. Like number one, Salesforce, and another is CRM, and third is Dialer. Right? So
Yeah.
basically, whatever the audits are being shared by the QA only.
Yeah. So let's say your QA. This is how, I'm not sure exactly how it's been done in your organization, but in general, I'm saying this is what I see for most of the processes, that they would have an Excel form or Google form to capture those audit, or at best they have an internal CRM tool created. But the challenge is, once they have filled in this data, this needs to be manually extracted, then clean it. Then the WFM team or any QA department guy goes ahead and clean that data and then create that data. So the biggest challenge is that you have a 24 hours lag for creating a report. Okay, so you're seeing a day minus one. But that particular, once you create an app sheet with that to capture that form, first advantage, it gives you to, you know, gives more control for you to create those or structure those inputs. Okay, what information that they want to use, they will be using. So there is a more advanced application that I created where it prompts the user to mention their specific comments. Okay, so yeah, let me show you some. So if I have that demo of data, but with this application, once you create that data, it automatically fetches in and you can see the report real time, which is a great huge. Some fields are still working for that application, so I'll quickly show you guys. Not all fields are working. I need to configure them back again because that application is no longer in place. But yeah, you can see the logo screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a dashboard that was created. Uh, uh,
Was this created by this app only, or like
no, the
some other?
app does not create the dashboard. You have to create it. So you have to create it using that Looker platform itself. But then once you
Okay.
connect this with the application, as soon as someone performs that audit, it automatically goes in here and you can see a real time performance. So you don't need to wait for 24 hours to see what data is coming and what have been put in the application. It's a great tool. When I say look at the dashboard, so I generally work with multiple digital transformation agencies, uh, social media analytics. So these people ask for this information, and these are different reports that I create for them. Marketing funnel report and everything. So yeah, it's a wonderful tool again. I have a course, and I will do another course on that. Okay, all right. So I think I'm done within the timeline itself. This was more from an introduction perspective. If you guys interested to continue further learning these, there are going to be another 3 to 4 sessions. You guys can drop your email and I will include you in the further sessions.
Sure, sure.
Good.
Thank you so much, Shikhar.
Good, cool.